Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this afternoon. We got lots of great racing action ahead of us as drivers are out on the racetrack. They're laying down their quick times, getting ready here for the start of our feature event. But qualifying underway first, so drivers out there on the racetrack looking to lay down their quick times. Right now, Chris Muse with a great lap time. He is currently the quickest out there on the racetrack. Colt Manage up into position number 4 now on the racetrack. Now we'll jump to the top of the speed charts. Quick time to the Shenco Custom Diecast 00 ride. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in for what will be another absolutely amazing day of racing action here at the Outcast Racing League, powered by Shenco Custom Diecast, Williamsburg Contracting, RT3 Designs LLC, and N Sea NSB. As these drivers get ready to rumble, they get ready to roll here at the last great Coliseum. It is Bristol Motor Speedway, the home of these drivers here for tonight's festivities. As the action is just about to get started, things are just about to get underway. We do see a couple more drivers still jumping out there, getting their laps in, making sure they can lay down some great laps here, trying to work themselves a little closer to the front of the field as things get started in a quick hurry here in Bristol. And you want to make sure that you're up towards the front of the field. You don't want to be back there deeper in the pack where things can happen in a quick hurry. You can tie up in some big wrecks out there on the racetrack, but you can also find yourself a lap down before you know it, as our race leaders will be very far in front of them here at this beautiful half-mile speedway, the fastest half-mile speedway in the world. As we get ready to rock and roll, we do see a new quick time down on the board as Brandon Puffenbarger jumps to the top of the speed charts. So Puffenbarger now quickest here in qualifying, a great lap and a great run right there for the number 5 machine as he jumps to the top of the speed charts. As Kurt Sponsler, Kurt coming in with the heart reaction. How are ya, Kurt? Joshua Neal coming in, showing the love as well with that like on the stream. How are you, Josh? How are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here in this one as the action is about to get underway. Qualifying quickly coming to a close, and that means our main feature event of the day is about to get underway, and these drivers will get ready to duke it out. They will get ready to battle here this afternoon for what's going to be a very fun race, a very exciting race here this evening. As the action, man, the action is just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Bristol, one of my favorite racetracks to be at. Absolutely amazing facility, absolutely amazing racetrack here. The tight racing, the back and forth, the battles, 2 wide, 3 wide out there on the racetrack, the edge of your seat kind of racing that we love to see in every single one of our broadcasts. And it's going to happen again here this afternoon at the Outcast Racing League. Man, they always put on such great races, such great things here in the series, so I can only assume it's going to be more of the same here at the last great Coliseum here in Tennessee, as Bristol Motor Speedway, home of the race here this afternoon. 200 laps on the docket, 200 laps of racing action here this afternoon for these absolutely amazing drivers to duke it out here today. As they get loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win, as starting on the pole, it will be that number 5 ride. That is the MVP Roofing number 5 ride, a Brandon Puffenbarger to his outside in the Kick JD Kick KD Jan 26. I don't know what the hashtag is for, but nonetheless, it is the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 00 ride. It's Colton Manage who will start in position number 2. New looking paint scheme, beautiful looking ride there for Colton this afternoon. Starting in position number 3 in the Fast Track Automotive Incorporated, the Shenco ride. That is the 99 of Chris Muse to his outside in the John Deere Mobile 1 number 15. That is Cameron Combs. Starting in the 5th position in the Williamsburg Contracting JRC Race Cars, the Shenco Custom Diecast 28 ride. It's Kevin Kazar. To his outside in the WeatherTech number 23, that is Austin Smith. And down on the inside, a row number 4 in the Overton 76, that is Caleb McKinney. To his outside in the Dr. Pepper number 51 machine, that is David Duran Jr. And starting on the inside, a row number 5 in the number 77, it is Casey Gross. Starting to his outside, rounding out our top 10 in the 19 ride is the Williamsburg Contracting Shenco Custom Diecast number 19 ride. That is Dom Salvo. Salvo will start there in the 10th position. Starting in position number 11 in the NOS Energy Drink, the PeaceMaker Gaming ESR, the Elite Sim Racing ride, that is Kurt Sponsler. To his outside in the RT3 Designs number 6, it is Robert Tuiscu. Starting in position number 13, that is Mike Killingback. You'll have Adolfo Castillo there to his outside. Then we see Joshua Neal and Al Reed back there in row number 8. Row number 9 will be the number 60 of Johnny Thunders in the 24 of Jameson Heath. And rounding out row number 10 will be Corey Crowell in the Midwest Sim Sports number 20 in the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger in the Budweiser number 8 machine. And bringing up our final row, the driver at the back of the pack starting in the 21st position, that is the 16 machine of Gary Wright. Wright will start back there in that 21st spot, but it looks like the number 6 of Robert Tuiscu will take an EOL and he will go back to the rear of the field. As Shenco Custom Diecast and Design says, kick Kawasaki disease, honoring my son who has it. KD day is January 26th. Okay, perfect. Hey, I'm glad you jumped in there and let me know, because I was guessing. I had no idea. I thought KD was Kevin Durant. I was like, what's going on to Kevin Durant? I didn't know. So that's great to know, and 100% kick Kawasaki disease right in the behind. Get it out of here. Let's find a cure, and let's help your son out, man. That's a heartbreaker right there. Hopefully everything's a-okay there at the Shenco Custom Diecast and Designs crew. As we're gonna end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing out in front. The 00 ride of Colton Manich will take the early race lead. Manich, using the outside lane, was able to get the jump and the run that he was looking for to jump up and lead lap number 1 of 200 here this afternoon. Cameron Combs going to follow him right on through into position number 2 as we see our first caution flag of the day fly. So our first yellow flag will be displayed, and it looks like Al Reed in the Elite Sim Racing RT3 Designs ride and Adolfo Castillo here potentially running into some issues. Let's take a look at first to the number 31 of Castillo, as I do believe that's where things are going to get started before Al Reed gets tied up in it. Reed back here behind him as you see the 31 trying to work his way around Casey Gross, and then there's going to be a little bit of looseness. He gets up into the fence. The 3 rider Al Reed trying to save himself right there, unfortunately getting onto the binders. That's where we're going to see him go around. So he sees the 31 right here down out of corner number 4. Is going to get onto the throttle. The rear-end's going to kick around. Adolfo will get up into the outside fence. Then the 3 ride trying to avoid it. He gets onto the binders and unfortunately just locks up that front end. The car goes up the racetrack and into the outside wall. Looks like a little contact there for the 49 rider Kurt Sponsler, as well as, I believe, Lance Brantlinger also down pit side here. Early tough break here to Brantlinger's afternoon, as I know he's looking to have himself a good day, and unfortunately already off to a tough run here in this one. As we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. It's Colton Manich, my boy Colton, coming in with that heart reaction over on Facebook, coming in showing the big love here in this one. It's Colton and in front, leading the way, hoping to try to find his way into victory lane here this afternoon, as he knows that will birth a potential victory and a potential win into our championship race, which I do believe will be next Sunday on the 29th. So, abiding that changes before the end of the year, we will crown our champion here of the series in the Outcast Racing League. And it's going to be absolutely amazing to see. As there's Colton coming in, giving us the update there as well on the Kawasaki disease. And Yeah, definitely bringing awareness, man. A great looking paint scheme, a beautiful looking ride out there on the racetrack, and we're all for it. We're all for it. Hashtag KickKD, the Kawasaki disease, January 26th, brother. Your son and your family are in our prayers, and I'm not sure what Kawasaki disease is, but all I know is it's gotta go. It's gotta go. They need to kick it. They need to kick it. It needs to kick the bucket, and we need to get a cure or something there for the Kawasaki disease as we get ready to rumble here once again. Drivers quickly stack back up and rolling out there on the racetrack. We do see Al Reed back out there onto the racetrack. He unfortunately does find himself now down a lap here on the racetrack. Same with Lance Brantlinger in the Budweiser number 8, but we still have 21 drivers out there on the racetrack in ability to win tonight's feature event. As quickly we go back to green flag racing, and again Colton managing another great start and quickly jumps out to that race lead as here comes the 99 rider Chris Muse. Muse right there, he's looking to try to jump up in battle here at the front of the field, as we did see, I believe, last year in our Bristol race. Chris Muse, Colton managed, and I do believe it was Cameron Combs potentially in that fight at the front of the field. We saw them battling it out late in this one, making some moves, and unfortunately down across the line, a little bit of contact, and I do believe we saw Colton find his way into victory lane here last season. So it's going to be maybe some more of the same, more beating and banging, maybe another photo finish there, as right now it's looking a lot like it, and we see some great battling early on here at the Speedway as the 00, a Colton manage out in front, leads the way with Cameron Combs right there in position number 2. Chris Muse back there in that 3rd position with Brandon Puffenbarger and Austin Smith, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. The 19 of Dom Salvo up into position number 6 on the Speedway, already at 4 spots on the racetrack, trying to work his way towards the front of the field is Casey Gross right there behind him. The Quantum Motorsports Outcast Racing League 77 ride now into that 7th position with Caleb McKinney, Adolfo Castillo, and Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Jameson Heath, he's already up a bunch of positions as we see the caution flag come out. Look at that. Around is the 5 ride right in the middle of the racetrack. Luckily enough, looks like everybody is able to avoid him right there, as he's going to make sure that everyone gets around before he starts trying to get this car turned back around. And for the 5, a tough break early on in this race, and it looks like Adolfo Castillo potentially getting tied up in this one once again. Let's take a look back and see what happens as Chris Muse and the 5 ride door to door. Looks like Muse, oh brother, Muse sideways out of corner number 4, and he's going to come down the racetrack. I believe Puffenbarger trying to make that move around him here. He gets down to the inside. He's looking for that 3rd spot on the racetrack. Except the racetrack is the 99 right up into the fence. He bounces off the wall into Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger launches up the racetrack right here, and unfortunately, as we take a look back and see that initial contact between the 99 and the 5 ride, you're going to see this 99 at Chris Muse bounce back up the racetrack and right into the lap here of Austin Smith. Smith going to have nowhere to go here, as here comes the 99 turned around. The 23 trying to get around it. Unfortunately, nowhere for him to go as the WeatherTech 23, the 99, they meet together. Then they meet up into the outside fence. And I do believe we're going to see the 31 ride of Adolfo Castillo going to get tied up in another one as he tries to get around it. He's going to end up into the outside fence and has to try to avoid these drivers on the outside, and he's going to go head on with the 99. Big contact right there. Kurt Sponsler going to slam right into his back, and the 82 ride, he's going to get in there as well. So a tough break for Joshua Neal, Kurt Sponsler, and the 31, as it looked like there was a lot less cars. You'll see the 16 ride heavy into that one as well. He's actually going to go upside down here and roll down the banking here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Look at Robert Tuisk, who tried to avoid him there. I believe he does a great job of doing that, and unfortunately a lot of tore up race cars here after door-to-door racing up towards the front of the field. They were battling for that 3rd position, and unfortunately for a couple of these drivers, just could not get out of the way quick enough. And lane choice is a big one as you watch the contact here from the windshield of the 31. He sees the 5 ride slide back up. He's hoping to avoid these guys. Unfortunately couldn't, and This is where it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse for Adolfo Kurtzponsler. You see the 16 upside down. Let's see if we can take a look here from Gary Wright's perspective. Is Gary flying into this one? Definitely was not expecting to see this. And unfortunately, there's the car turned around. He goes to the high side. 8 rides right in front of him. And then everyone just log jammed up there on the outside lane. He tries to get down underneath of him. Ends up making contact with the 31. And was upside down. He'll have to tow that car down pit lane. Heartbreaker right there, and a lot of tore up race cars. Woo! The action already getting started here in this one as we go back to green flag racing. The 00 Colton Manage looking to hold on to the race lead as here comes that Camry down low. The 19 Dom Salvo now battling door to door with Cameron Combs for position number 2 on the racetrack. Salvo started all the way back in position number 10, now up inside the top 3, and he's not done yet. He wants to battle his way to the front of the field. Casey Gross right there trying to hold on to that 4th position as Caleb McKinney looking down low underneath of that 77 ride. The 70 machine, the Williamsburg Contracting Racing. Lawrence Tech number 70 of Mike Killingbeck sits there in position number 6 with Jamison Heath there in the DuPont Automotive Industries number 24 ride. They're in position number 7. Robert Tuiscu back in 8th with David Durant Jr. and Kurt Sponsler. Our top 10 here on the racetrack. Kurt still heavy front end damage here for the 49 ride. I do believe he's trying to save that car, hoping to get to the end of this race before using up that quick repair, maybe using it if he gets even more damage on that race car. As a few drivers already having to use up those quick repairs, and some drivers electing not to, as you do see Puffenbarger is now the first driver a lap down on the racetrack. Al Reed now the second car a lap down, with Adolfo Castillo also scored as a lap down car now as well. You do see the 99 ride of Chris Muse. He is down pit side here. He's been down pit side for an extended period of time and is going to fall even farther behind here now. Multiple laps down for that 99 ride. Kevin Kazar is going to pass the 99 ride. He's also multiple laps down and scored back in position number 19. Gary Wright scored back in 21st. Now multiple laps down as well for the 16 ride. So drivers already running into issues. Drivers already having problems out there on the racetrack. Is out in front. So far, hasn't been much of a problem at all for the 00 ride as Colton Manich continues to lead the way. Cameron Combs right there in second, trying to hang with them, not letting them run away with this one as they've already opened up about a 1.3 second gap between themselves and that 3rd place car, the 19 of Dom Salvo. Salvo back here in position number 3. Casey Gross right there ready to pounce, and that 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney trying some different lanes, trying to stay glued to the inside as the 77 rolls a little bit in the middle. Now going to get a little loose on corner exit. He gets up, scrubs the outside fence. Doesn't look like too much damage though done to that 77 ride, but he is going to get into the wall here again on the racetrack. Is now the 51 of David Duran Jr. underneath of him. David's going to get loose on corner exit. He's got to save that car. Luckily enough, he does. Keeps it pointed in the right direction and now has to slide back in that 6th position, looking to try to mount another challenge on that 77 ride. Robert Tuiscu, Jamison Heath right there in 7th and 8th with Killingbeck, and the 20 rider Corey Crowell rounding out our top 10 is Tuiscu. He's up quite a few positions on the racetrack now. Tuiscu actually started back in the final position, took an EOL to start this race, and so far the RT3 Designs ride has been able to work himself up and around a lot of these drivers through a lot of the contact and carnage that we've seen early in this race, and now finds himself back inside the top 10 and right there in the 8th position, and he may not be done yet. Is out in front. It's all Colton Manich. Manich continuing to lead the way here in this one, looking very good here out there on the racetrack, as my boy Chris Muse says that didn't take long. Ouch, he says. Ouch is correct. That was definitely a heartbreaker right there for you, brother. That's a tough break, a tough hit, and unfortunately a very heavily damaged 99 ride out there on the Speedway. That is a very tough break, as We take a look here, and we see our race leader now tied up in a wreck. Caution flag back in on the racetrack. That's Kevin Kazar turned around, and Colton gets tied up in it. Heavy contact here for the 00 machine, now showing his displeasure probably with the 28 ride, and he may have to be careful because he may end up going a lap down here or multiple laps down. He's trying to get this car turned in down pit lane, and unfortunately heavy right front damage now for Colton Manich. Let's take a look back and see that contact as Kevin Kazar. He's up in front of these guys. He's multiple laps down. Looks like him and the 99 rider Chris Muse door-to-door here, but the 28 and the 99, they're going to make contact right there. The 28 slideways, gets a little help there from the 49. Then here comes our race leader, pounds into the side of that 28 ride. Heavy damage for that number 28, and for our race leader. Hopefully he's got that quick repair to use. Take a look here and see the contact between Chris Muse and the 28, as 28 kind of coming down, the 99 trying to go for the middle here. He kind of comes up, and a little neck code to help him out right there. And unfortunately the contact, the 28 ride sliding sideways. He's trying to get that car pointed back in the right direction. Kurt Sponsor's going to come in. Nowhere for him to go as he gets a piece of the 28 ride, which shoves him up into the outside fence, and that's where Colton Manich is going to come into the picture. And you watch the 00. He's trying to get down low. He's trying to get out of the way of it. Unfortunately, chose the wrong lane, as there goes Cameron Gomes. He'll take the outside lane, and he'll roll right on around it as the 28 or the 00 with heavy damage here. Let's take another look at it. Let's see if we can jump on board here with our race leader. See what we can see from the cockpit of this number 00 machine, and take a look at that contact as he's rolling into it here, not expecting it. Out in front, leading the way. Starting to see that lap traffic, though, in front of him, and doesn't really get a good look. And then all of a sudden, there's the 28 sideways in front of him, and just really nowhere for him to go as he slams into the side of that 28 ride. A very frustrating day for the number 00 ride. Colton Manich definitely not going to be very happy about that outcome, as the KD January 26th, the Williamsburg Contracting Racing Shenco Custom Diecast 00 ride out in front, leading every lap so far here this afternoon. Now finds himself back in the 18th position, and a lap or multiple laps down here, and definitely not a spot he wants to be, as all these drivers going to get lined up and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing's our new race leader out there on the racetrack, the 15 rider Cameron Combs. Now leading the way here in this one. He'll get ready for his first restart at the front of the field, and there you go, Green Flag back out here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So the craziness continues here in Bristol, and the contact and chaos has not slowed down one little bit, as Cameron Combs now leads the way. Dom Salvo trying to hold on to position number 2, is back there behind him is Caleb McKinney, and that 51 of David Duran Jr. The 77 rider Casey Gross trying to stay there in position number 5 is Jamison Heath down low looking underneath of that 77 machine. The 6 of Robert Tuiscu now into 7th, as here comes Austin Smith and Mike Killingbeck, as Killingbeck gets up, scrubs the outside fence ever so slightly, but contact in front of him. Around goes Jamison Heath. He's getting collected here with the 77 ride of Casey Gross, and caution flag will come back out here in this one. So Heath and Casey Gross now tied together, as we saw Jamison working down low underneath the 77. Looks like Casey maybe gets a little loose here on corner exit, as he was rolling more of that middle outside groove. Tries to get a run underneath the 51. Sees the 24 there. Tries to get up and out of the way. Unfortunately loses the rear end. Trying to save that car from coming all the way down across the 24. Ends up making that contact nonetheless. Hard into the 24. Hard into the outside fence. Gets back into that 24 ride. And Jamison Heath, just a innocent bystander, trying to make a pass right there. Trying to stay underneath that 77. Unfortunately, heavy damage already for him and that 77 here in this one. So they're both going to take their cars down pit side, looking to get some work done, as we'll see Austin Smith down pit road in the WeatherTech 23 ride. So he'll give up some track position to come down pit side and get some work done here to his car, as We do see Adolfo Castillo, Adolfo is going to get back on the lead lap here, so he does get that free pass, the lucky dog position right there, and he will work himself back onto the lead lap here in this one. Al Reed now scored as the first driver, a lap down. Colton Manich back there behind him, the second car 1 lap down, looking to try to get back on the lead lap. Chris Muse a few laps down back there in 19th. Gary Wright multiple laps down there in 20th, and Kevin Kazar still down pit side, heavy damage still getting repaired here for the 28 machine this afternoon. As Kazar finds himself down pit road, we'll get all these drivers ready to go back to battle. They'll get stacked up, racked up, and once again we'll get ready for another crazy restart. Another crazy restart out there on the racetrack as man, looking through the field, seeing some of these drivers make their way up and through the pack. You look back, you're right. Robert Tuiscu took that EOL to start this race, went all the way back to the 21st starting position, and now finds himself up inside the top 5 on the Speedway, but he does have quite a bit of right front damage here on that number 6 round. Let's see if we can get another look at it. There you go. See that right front damage pretty busted up. The hood starting to pop open there just ever so slightly. That car's definitely feeling the pain, but right there behind him, a pair of drivers up 12 positions. The Midwest Motorsports. Number 20, Corey Crowell, and the 8 rider, Lance Brantlinger. Saw Lance go a lap down, come down pit side during our opening laps, and all of a sudden they're up inside the top 8 and right back into the thick of things here in this one. So good rebound, a good call here for the 8 ride to try to work himself back in to this race as we go back to green flag racing. The green flag quickly back out into the air. The 15 of Cameron Combs sees that green flag fly, and quickly another great restart as we do see David Duran Jr. He'll slide his way up and into position number 2 as he'll take that second spot away from Dom Salvo sliding back now to 3rd, and now has the 77 rider Caleb McKinney working underneath of him. Door to door down into the corner here. Now we've seen a lot of side-by-side action. Unfortunately, a lot of times that side-by-side does not pay off for these drivers. As time and time again, we've seen issues in drivers running into those problems as we do see the 19 continuing to slide back. Killingbeck also going to lose a spot as Lance Brantlinger now finds himself up into position number 4 on the racetrack. Is look out, almost had another caution flag right there as contact between the 70 Killingbeck and this number 19 ride. Let's take another look at this one. Let's play this forward just a little bit here. And let's take a look at the contact here between Mike Killingbeck and the 19 ride. So the 19 all the way up the racetrack, then a little 3 wide right there. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work out. The 19th sideways there on the racetrack. Luckily enough, able to keep it out of the fence and keep that car rolling. Mike Killingbeck, though, does find the outside wall. Pretty heavy right front contact there for that 70 ride. As now we do see that caution flag fly, so the yellow flag will be displayed. Now, I'm not sure what this caution will be for. I don't see any one driver turned around or one driver running into issues out there on the racetrack, so potentially just some debris out here on the Speedway. Let's take a look back and see what may have brought that caution flag out. We'll take a look here at Casey Gross, see if Casey can see anything, if anything happens here around the 77. No, caution flag already out. I don't see anyone turned around deeper in the field, so an interesting one right there. I think that was just for debris, as after the contact, some parts or oil coming out of that 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck. So caution flag will come back out. Drivers will get stacked back together. They will be able to, actually that may have been the stage break. We're already 50 laps into this race, ladies and gentlemen. That was actually a stage break. There was no caution flag for issues this time. That was our stage break, lap number 50. Already coming to a close. My gosh, I don't know how we got here already. As Chris Muse says, "Go Ricky, go Ricky!" He says, "Go Ricky!" Cheering on all the Rickies out there on the racetrack. Is man, what a run for Cameron Combs, able to pick up our first stage win of the afternoon. So definitely very interesting here early on the different runs and different drives for these competitors and what they got to deal with, man. There's a lot of playoff competitors that have been tied up in some things early on in this race and potentially missing out on a championship run here this year if they continue to run into those problems. As we do see Cameron Combs first down, first out of pit lane. Here comes Lance Brantlinger. Caleb McKinney going to come out there in the third position with David Duran Jr. losing a couple spots. Dom Salvo also going to lose a few spots there on that pit stop as Brantlinger and McKinney both able to get out before them. And we also see, obviously a few drivers staying out here. So it's our new race leader, Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger now leads the way with Corey Crowell in position number 2. Austin Smith back there in third with Joshua Neal now scored in fourth, and that's where we see Cameron Combs there in position number 5. Now, I do believe potentially here that Colt Manich, yes, it does look like the 00 ride of Colton Manich, getting that free pass and getting back onto the lead lap here for that 00 machine here this afternoon. So a great break there for that 00 as he's able to work himself back onto the lead lap and right back into the thick of things here this afternoon. Obviously, no quick repair left for that 00 ride, so does not want to get tied up in another issue, as that's a big thing here for a lot of these drivers, trying to keep these cars in one piece and trying to stay out there and not use that quick repair up too early. We take a look through the field and some of the drivers with the damage as we go back to green flag racing. See that 24 ride, Jameson Heath still very heavy right front damage here for that 24. We did see Kurt Sponsler still big front end damage there for him. Al Reed still got a lot of damage. The 77 ride, I do believe, of Mr. Gross also has some pretty good damage still on his Outcast Racing League 77 ride. So a couple of these drivers already running into issues, still having those issues as they persist out there on the racetrack. Is out in front, we do see that 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger continuing to lead the way. Corey Crowell back there in second, as now you see Cameron Combs into that third position. So Combs did not take tires, but did come down pit side, got some fuel, trying to make sure he can make it to the end of stage number 2 here. And already he's just hanging on to that third spot. Here comes Austin Smith looking to his outside. Here comes the 51 of David Duran Jr. and the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger. They're working to the middle to outside groove here, trying to steamroll right around that 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs trying to hang on to it though. Scored back there now in the 4th position. Now going to fall back into position number 5. Almost contact there between himself and David Duran Jr. as both drivers able to keep their cars pointed in the right direction out there on the speedway. Brantlinger back in 6th with Dom Salvo there in 7th. Joshua Neal, Caleb McKinney, Robert Tuiscu, our top 10 out there on the racetrack with a damaged up number 24. Jameson Heath there in 10th. And here comes that 00 machine. Colton Manich trying to work his way back up towards the front of the field as the Williamsburg Contracting Shenco Custom Diecast 00 ride. Now into the 12th position, back onto the lead lap and right back into the fun of things here this afternoon. We'll see if he can work his way back to the front of the field as Johnny Thunders rolls there in 13th. So a 13th run right now for Mr. Thunders as Adolfo Castillo right there behind him. Kurt Sponsler scored there in 15th. Casey Gross scored in the 16th position, and Al Reed, the first driver, a lapper, multiple laps down, scored there in 17th as we see a little contact right there in front of him. A driver running into issues. It's Castillo once again having a problem here. He's going to take that car right down pit side. Heavy front end damage here as it looks like the 60 of Johnny Thunder is going to get loose on corner exit. Comes down the racetrack into the 31 right, which pile drives him down into the pit wall right there, and heavy contact for the 31, and he's going to take that car right down pit side. Knows that there's something wrong with that 31. He'll take it into his pit box and look to get some work done to his car here this afternoon. And he's going to come down pit side here. He had to go all the way around to the full cycle here to make his way down onto pit road. So unfortunately going to give up even more time. Right there as he didn't quite get all the way into his pit box and now finds himself scored back in 18th and multiple laps down. is out in front. It's Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger continues to lead the way, now looking to put the 77 ride of Casey Gross a lap down. Gross will now be our first car a lap down on the racetrack until he runs into the 3 ride of Al Reeder, until one of our other competitors finds themselves a lap down. It's Kurt Sponsler. Johnny Thunders not too far away from our race leader is David Durant Jr. looking to take that race lead away, and looks like down low he is going to find the groove that he was looking for in the 51 of David Durant Jr. Now out in front leading here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's Bionic Man coming to show the love here in this one. How are you, brother? Smashing that like on the stream is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to jump into a quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up here in stage number 2. Already about 75 laps done of this race. We're rolling closer and closer to our halfway marker here this afternoon, and we're going to crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. action on the racetrack. You're gonna ride right on board with that one as the 60 ride. Oh, heavy contact right there as the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders goes around. A bunch of drivers collected here in this one. Let's play this back and take another look at it as potentially contact to his back bumper right here from the 3 right of Alry. Let's see if we can take another prospect of this one, see what happened here to Johnny Thunders as he was rolling down low. Jameson Heath up there to his outside, and unfortunately these drivers are going to come together. Heavy contact. Let's take a look. Alrighty, so 60 down low, looks like a little 3 wide. He kind of comes up, not expecting to be 3 wide. Unfortunately, Al Reed's there. He's up the racetrack over the nose of the 24 right. I do believe this is Puffenbarger who's going to slide in here and end up getting a big piece of him right there into the rear end of that 60 machine as Johnny Thunders goes around, pointed in the wrong direction. Gets that car rolling here once again, but let's take a look back at it. So the contact right there between the 3 competitors all battling for position out there on the racetrack. Obviously, you see that 3 right coming with a big head of steam, kind of comes down. The 60 right kind of coming up. I don't think the 60 of Thunders really realized that they were 3 wide. Thought he had that second lane. 3 right thought he had not enough speed to get to the back bumper of the 60 ride. Hoping to just follow in line, get down behind him, and follow him around the 24. Unfortunately, not enough room. They make that contact, and then unfortunately here for the 5 ride, he's going to come in here and get a big piece of him. This is Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger deeper in the field now. He sees the car turned around here. He's going to try to go for the high side. Unfortunately, just does not move up and out of the way quick enough and gets a big piece of that 60 and of the outside fence here. Let's see if we can get another look at it. It is on board with them. Seems like he doesn't see him until later on. You see that wheel starting to turn the other direction here. So down here, he doesn't see him. Maybe the A-frame blocking it, and then all of a sudden, now he sees it, finally reacts right here. And he's seeing the 60 start to roll down the racetrack. Thought he was going to come down the track in front of him, and unfortunately goes up the racetrack and ends up finding a big piece of him and the outside fence. Heavy contact there for the 5 ride, and heavy damage there for that number 60, as well as Johnny Thunder's going to have to use up his quick repair. To believe the 5 ride of Puffenbarger, he's going to use up his quick repair, trying to get that car repaired and back out there onto the racetrack. Al Reed down pit side here, an extended pit stop for the 3 machine. Now going to roll back out there onto the speedway as Johnny Thunders scored now back in 14th, thus find himself a lap down. Same with Kurt Sponsler and Mike Killingbeck and Casey Gross also a lap down. Chris Muse multiple laps down there in the 99. Gary Wright now off the racetrack. Adolfo Castillo multiple laps down back in 20th, and Kevin Kazar a lot of laps down there in 21st. So more drivers running into issues as we go back to green flag racing. A lot of drivers already getting tore up, already having some tough breaks here in this feature event. But out in front, it's David Moran Jr. who leads the way. David out in front in the Dr. Pepper number 51. Ryan Colton managed, though, after rebounding from his contact. Now finds himself up and into position number 3. He's been marching his way back up to the front of the field as we do see the caution flag going to come back out here once again. This time looks like the 23 ride of Austin Smith and potentially the 15 ride right here behind the 00 Colton Manage. We didn't see this, but contact here between them right there. Looks like the 15 just gets loose going into quarter entry, washes up the racetrack, makes contact there with the 23, and around goes Austin Smith. Jamison Heath trying to stay out of him here. He does a great job trying to get onto the binders, trying to avoid any additional contact. Unfortunately, does get a little piece of him there, gives him a kiss on the side of the door as the 23 comes to a sliding stop with the 24 right there on corner exit, and that's where we'll see that caution flag fly. Luckily enough, looks like everybody able to avoid these guys, maybe until the 70 right of Mike Killingbeck slides in there. Unfortunately, goes the wrong lane right there, slams in and gets a big piece of the wall. The number 24 in the 23 right also getting a little extra damage there in that one. So couple issues again out there on the racetrack. Now we see some different pit stops. Lance Brantlinger finds himself down pit road. Caleb McKinney, Cameron Combs also down pit side. Same with Robert Tuisku, Brandon Puffenbarger, Jamison Heath all down pit road. Looking to get some repairs and some tires potentially here for their race cars. Is stage number 2 quickly coming to a close. I do believe we may see stage number 2 come to an end here during this caution flag. The lights are still on the official iRacing pace car now. Stage 2 doesn't officially end until the end of lap number 200 here, so we'll have to wait and see how the officials score this one and where they place these drivers for the end of this stage, or if we'll see a 1-lap shootout or potentially a 2-lap shootout here to the end of this race. Is lap number 98 about to be completed. We'll see if the lights get turned off here and see if we do see that 1-lap shootout, as lap number 99 will come to an end and potentially the green flag will come back out once again on the racetrack. The lights are off of the official iRacing pace car, so it does look like a 1-lap shootout here to finish off today's second stage of racing action here from Bristol Motor Speedway. So stage number 2 about to come to a close, but we're going to run 1 lap until we see that yellow flag come back out, and that's where stage points will be handed out for some of these drivers. They will earn the ability and the opportunity to try to get some extra points and try to help their case to make it into our championship round. The final 8 competitors of our championship will battle next week at Daytona for our Outcast Racing League season number 8 championship. Is down and out of corner number 4, the green flag back out into the air for the number 51 of David Durant Jr. David gets the restart he was hoping for, knowing that he just has to keep these drivers back there at bay for one whole lap. Is down into corner number 3 and out of corner number 4 down across the line. That will bring an end to our second stage of the day, as David Durant Jr. will pick up that stage win. Colton Manich coming back with a solid stage 2 second finish, and Corey Crowell there in third, up 16 positions on the racetrack. But we did see Colton manage throughout that stage get tied up in a big wreck, end up with a lot of damage, and down pit side goes a lap down. He's able to work himself back on the lead lap, able to work himself through the traffic, and now the 00 ride finds himself finishing that stage off in position number 2. Pretty good fashion right there for him, as we're going to see some of these drivers now head down pit side, make another pit stop and another opportunity to work on their cars and try to get their cars back into one good piece and back into racing form here this afternoon, as we'll be back here in just a few more moments after a quick word here from our Outcast Racing League. Alrighty, as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing once again here from Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. Here for the Outcast Racing League Williamsburg Contracting Shenco Custom Diecast season. It is our penultimate race before our championship next Sunday on the 29th. 8 drivers looking to work their way into the next round of the playoffs. 4 drivers, unfortunately, here tonight will be eliminated. from our playoffs is out in front, regaining the race lead and control of this one is that Shenco Custom Diecast 00 rider. Colton manages quickly back onto the left pedal, able to get a great launch and a great run as he's able to open up quickly. A half a second lead, 4 or 5 car lengths now between himself and Corey Crowell. Crowell will hold on to position number 2 as Austin Smith now up into 3rd as here comes Joshua Neal and Cameron Combs in the 15 ride as they're trying to hunt down that 00 ride. Dom Salvo back there in 6th with Lance Brantlinger there in 7th. Caleb McKinney, Robert Tuiscu, Jamison Heath, the number 3 of Al Reed back onto the lead lap. He scored back there in the 12th position now as the 51 of David Durant Jr. going to storm right around him, and now going after the 24 Jamison Heath for that 10th position on the racetrack. Kurt Sponsler currently sitting in the lucky dog position, the first driver a lap down out there on the racetrack, hoping to see another caution flag and another opportunity to put himself back onto the lead lap. Same with Brandon Buffenbarger, who scored back here in 14th. Hillingback going to need a couple caution flags as he scored there in the 15th position. Same with Casey Gross, Chris Muse, Johnny Thunders, who's now currently down pit side getting work done to that 60 ride. Gary Wright down and out of this race already as Adolfo Castillo rolls there in 20th and Kevin Kazar back in 21st position at the rear of the field here in this one. As Johnny Thunder still down pit side, and now with Gary Wright off the racetrack, Adolfo has worked himself into the 19th position, so his drivers leave the race or run into more issues where they're down pit side for an extended period of time. May open up the door here for this 31 to maybe gain a couple extra positions, and that may be what he needs to work himself into that championship race next weekend from Daytona International Speedway. As Colton Manich out in front, he's looking to pick up the win. He's looking to lock his way into that next round of the playoffs as the 23 Austin Smith back there in second, looking to play spoiler here to some of our playoff competitors. Same with Corey Crowell there in 3rd. Cameron Combs looking to lock his way into the next round. Same with Dom Salvo and Lance Brantlinger there in the 8th ride. Caleb McKinney back there in 7th with Joshua Neal, Robert Tuiscu, and David Durant Jr. now rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to show you guys the absolutely amazing racing action of the Shenco Racing League. The Outcast Racing League, powered by Shenco Custom Diecast. A little bit of a brain fart right there as we do see the caution flag come back out. So the caution flag back out onto the racetrack here. More issues for a couple of our drivers as looks like Kurt Sponsler in the 49 ride going to run into issues here once again. Sponsler in the Elite Sim Racing. PeaceMaker Gaming number 49 ride. Oh, looks like the 24, Jamison Heath, running into issues right in front of him. Bounce into him a couple times right there, gets him turned around. Luckily enough, Chris Muse able to just avoid that, and good contact there for Jamison Heath. As let's take a look at it here. They're just gingerly working their way back here deeper in the field. Sponsor was in that free pass position, but watch the 24 just get loose, washes up the racetrack hard up into the outside fence, comes down into the nose of the 49 ride as the 24, Heath, was trying to save it. Unfortunately, that contact helps him go down the racetrack into the inside fence. He bounces off that inside wall, right back up the racetrack, and going to clip the 49 right again here, and that's what's going to get Kurt Sponsler turned around. And somehow or another, the 99 ride just doesn't hit either of those drivers. A heck of a piece of driving right there. Let's see if we can get a look here from perspective of Chris Muse. As Muse currently scored in the 16th position, multiple laps down back here, and hoping to see even more caution flags, just not wanting to be a part of them as he's that initial contact. 5 right washing back at the racetrack, just gets down low and avoids both of those drivers on the speedway. So good heads up piece of driving right there by Chris Muse as everybody going to be trying to make some different strategy calls here. We do see Colton Manich down pit side, so he's going to forfeit that race lead. Al Reed also down pit road. Same with Jamison Heath, Kurt Sponsler, Mike Killingbeck, all down pit road looking to get some repairs and looking to get some extra fuel and potentially tires back onto their rides to rejoin the fight here at the front of the field as Colton Manich rolls back out here. Woo, baby! Scored back in that 10th position and currently sitting in what could be a golden opportunity. A lot of the drivers that are in front of him were last down pit road on lap 91, lap 97. We did see David Duran Jr. down pit road on lap 103, but now him, Al Reed, and Jamison Heath that are on the lead lap are all kind of, they're right there, man. They're all now on lap 119 pit strategy, and I do believe Jamison Heath may be at risk of going a lap down here as well. He's been down pit road for an extended period of time, and he may find himself a lap or 2 laps down here in a quick hurry as the green flag about to come back out. New race leader, though, out there on the racetrack, the 23, the WeatherTech machine of Austin Smith now leads the way. Corey Crowell will be in position number 2 with Cameron Combs, Dom Salvo, and Lance Brantley are rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Is down at corner number 4 and through the Geico restart zone. We go back to green flag racing. So the green flag quickly back out in the air. Is out in front, it's Austin Smith who leads the way. Corey Crowell there in position number 2. And Cameron Combs back there in third. He's trying to hassle the back bumper of that 20 ride for that second spot here on the racetrack. This is my boy Johnny Thunders. Johnny coming in, showing the love. How are you, Johnny? Johnny coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, brother? How you doing today? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon here at the Speedway. Some great racing action, man. These guys are putting on a heck of a race, heck of a battle for us. Right from the drop of the green flag, it's been non-stop action, a lot of back and forth, a lot of beating and banging and battling out there. Unfortunately, quite a few drivers have ran into issues and had mistakes out there on the Speedway. We've seen a lot of tore up race cars here in this one, so that's a very interesting call. It's very interesting to see, you know, a lot of these such fantastic, amazing drivers run into issues here at the Speedway. Is out in front. It is still that number 23, Austin Smith, leading the way. We've seen Smith do this time and time again. Late in these races, somehow or another, finds his way to the front of the field, and all of a sudden, he's got some speed in this 23. Maybe it's just timing, maybe it's just tires, or what it may be is the 23 ride has just been a sitting duck, trying to sandbag a little bit early in this race, save his equipment, keep himself out of trouble. He's been pretty good at it so far here this afternoon, and now at the front of the field in what could be the safest place on the Speedway. I would say that, but maybe it's not the safest place, as we have seen drivers like Colton Manich, who was out in front leading this race, ran into issues with a spinning lap car. Unfortunately, going around right in front of him, he slammed into the side of the car, and unfortunately that damage put him a lap down behind the 8 ball. Now trying to play catch up here all afternoon, but last time coming down pit road, and now has those fresher tires and trying to put him to work here as he looks underneath a David Duran Jr. for that 7th position on the racetrack. Excuse me, the 7th position on the racetrack as he reels in that 51 of David Duran Jr., the 8 right of Lance Brantlinger, and the 76 of Caleb McKinney, the 20 of Corey Crowell, all right there within striking distance of that 00 machine. Is almost door to door up here for position number 4. Corey Crowell trying to hang on to that 4th position with the 76 of Caleb McKinney. He wants to jump up to take it away from him. Lance Brantlinger would love to try to follow him right on through. It's out in front. It's still Austin Smith. Smith continuing to lead the way with Cameron Combs right there in position number 2, and Dom Salvo up into that 3rd spot here on the Speedway. So far, a great run for the 19 ride. We've seen him time and time again work his way inside this top 3, top 2 battle. He's looked very, very fast, and he may have something left in the tank late in this race. Excuse me again, I don't know why I'm yawning. Once you do it once, you just cannot stop. Oh my gosh, I'm not even tired. What in the world? It's only like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Why am I yawning? It's out in front. Austin Smith leading the way here in this one. Cameron Combs there in second. Dom Salvo there in position number 3. Caleb McKinney now in that 4th spot as Lance Brantlinger jumps into position number 5. Corey Crowell has slid back into 6 and now has that 51 of David Duran Jr. and the 00 Colton Manich, both looking to get around him as they sit back in the 7th and 8th position. Sitting in position number 9 is Joshua O'Neill, and back there behind him in the 10th spot here on the racetrack is the Elite Sim Racing number 3 of Al Reed. Robert Tuiscu there in position number 11, as we did see somebody's front nose cone bouncing around out there on the racetrack. Luckily enough, no caution for debris here on the Speedway, as Killingbeck now finds himself the first driver or multiple laps down here on the Speedway, hoping for another caution flag. Same with Jameson Heath, Casey Gross, and a lot of these other drivers that find themselves multiple laps down and hoping to try to work their way back on the lead lap. Chris Muse, Kurt Sponsler, a pair of them right there. Puffenbarger back down pit road here as the Fine Pride, one of our playoff contenders, hoping to have himself a good day here. The Speedway already running into issues. We saw Adolfo Castillo have issues early in this race, an extended period of time down pit side here for the number 31 ride as well. Now Johnny Thunders off the racetrack, Gary Wright also off the Speedway, and Kevin Kazar still finds himself down pit side after a tough break, a tough start to this race. We saw him actually be the driver that got turned around and unfortunately ended up having that contact with our race leader, the 00 of Colton Manich at the time, as now we start to see Colton making some moves here. He's now worked himself around Corey Crowell, he's worked himself around David Duran Jr. and Cameron Combs, and Manich now finds himself in position number 5 here on the racetrack, as right there in front of him, two wide battle, it's McKinney and Brantlinger. Door to door out there on the racetrack as the 00 trying to work his way through the traffic is, man, down across the line. Lap number 144 up onto the board. We're almost a 3/4 of the way through this feature event. The laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and Colton Manich knows that he's got to get a move on back to the front of the field if he wants to have an opportunity at winning this race. He's going to try to work his way to the front of the pack, and that's exactly what he's doing. Some of the freshest tires out there on the Speedway compared to all these other competitors, and now finds himself up inside the top 3 once again. And it's getting around Brantlinger and McKinney, puts himself into that 3rd position here on the racetrack with Dom Salvo right there in front of him, and our race leader Austin Smith within striking distance as well. We'll have to wait and see how quickly that 00 ride may be able to find his way to the front of the field. Already making the move around the 19, so Salvo slides quickly back into 2nd, and now you see that 00 quickly working his way around the 23 as Smith also gets a piece of the outside fence. So Smith slides back to 2nd. Now some pretty heavy right front damage for that 23 as Colton Manich back out in front, and maybe the tire strategy paying off perfectly here for this 00 ride. These other drivers starting to fall off, starting to run into those issues. Tires starting to fade away here. It's been a little while since they were down pit side without a caution flag. They may be forced to make their way down pit road during the green flag, and that is a tough spot to be, especially knowing that the number 00 ride of Colton Manich has about 20, 30 laps, fresher tires and fresher fuel than what they do out there on the racetrack. And if he doesn't have to come down pit side for that long, there's anything that can happen. So you don't want to be down pit road. You can lose 2-3 laps in a quick hurry, and if that caution flag does fly, even though you're the quickest car or one of the quicker cars out there on the racetrack with those fresh tires, that caution flag could trap you a lap or multiple laps down here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Manich continues to show these drivers how to get it done. It's Lance Brantlinger who now jumps up into position number 2. Austin Smith now back into that 3rd spot here on the racetrack. It's Salvo right there behind him, the 76, and Caleb McKinney there in 5th. Cameron Combs back in 6th with David Duran Jr. back in 7th. Al Reed there in 8th. Still pretty good damage on that 3 machine as Al Reed trying to work his way back into the picture here. Here we go. The 8 rider, Lance Brantlinger, going to bring the Budweiser number 8 ride, the King of Beers, down pit side and making that green flag pit stop. This is a very interesting call for that 8 ride here this afternoon. Excuse me again, as man, once you yawn one time, it is impossible to get rid of those yawns. If someone has a remedy to get rid of the yawns, I would love to hear it. I'm not tired. I don't know why I'm yawning. It's absolutely frustrating. out in front, continue to open up that race lead, continue to pull away from the rest of the field. It's Colton Manage out in front now by 7 seconds, and that lead is growing lap by lap. Austin Smith back here in second, now finds himself almost 8 seconds behind our race leader with Dom Salvo a little farther back. There's Caleb McKinney in position number 4. Cameron Combs working to his outside as McKinney down onto the apron. Looks like he's going to make his way down pit side. So the 76 goes down pit road. He'll make that long trip around Bristol Motor Speedway pit lane and into his pit stall. Here comes Robert Tuiscu as well. He's going to give up the lead lap to head down pit road. Out there on the speedway is going to get very, very interesting here. Fuel could become a player. Issues for drivers down pit side could play a huge factor. You get caught speeding is detrimental, to make sure you hit your marks. Do not get caught speeding. Do not have a extra long trip down on pit lane, and it's all about timing. When do you make your way down pit side? When is the correct time to make a move and find yourself on pit road and getting the repairs or getting your tires and fuel out there on your race car? Is the fine pride right there, Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger does find himself a couple laps down out there on the speedway, is able to roll around a couple drivers and work himself up into the 10th position. Actually, where did... I wasn't looking at Brantley, or who's I looking at? Puffenbarger there. Puffenbarger does find himself multiple laps down and now back in the 17th position as he's able to work a lap back here as he rolls around that 00 of Colton Manage. You'll see Al Reed right there as well. Reed is now going to go a lap down here to our race leader on the racetrack. Is Al pretty heavy right front damage still on that 3 machine, and now slides back to a lap down. Is out in front. It's Colton Manage, and Manage is out in front by a lot here. There's our second place driver out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. It's a huge lead. This time down across the start finish line. There is that number 24. Basically a straightaway behind him is this 00 Colton Manage. Manage out in front now by almost 12 seconds. He's starting to put a lot of our drivers a lap down here as David Durant Jr. right there in front of him. The next car in front of our race leader in that 00 line is our 5th place competitor here on the speedway. So these green flag pit stops underway and drivers having some of these issues. Not only are they having issues, but they're also just falling farther and farther behind this 00 ride. Has managed with a huge lead, a huge gap now between himself and second place on the racetrack, and that gap continuing to grow. He's looking to try to put everybody a lap down. A bit of a gap now between himself and our 4th place competitor, Dom Salvo. Is Salvo trying to stay on the lead lap now. He is teammates with the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting Racing ride behind him here. So Dom Salvo and the 00 Colton Manage on the same team, so maybe a little bit more courtesy, but I don't know. I feel like Dom wants to try to put every one of these drivers a lap down out there on the racetrack, as David Duran Jr. does make his way down pit side here as well. So Duran down pit road in that number 51 machine, and he'll make what could be his final pit stop of the afternoon. His lap number 169 about to be completed here down across the line. He's looking to get it done, and there it is. It is done, and now we see lap 170 up and onto the board. This time by the start-finish line, we will see 30 more laps of racing action left to go here from Bristol Motor Speedway. 30 more laps here of action this evening, as Outcast Racing League says, yeehaw, yeehaw, says Outcast. Yes, Sirski, yeehaw is the correct terminology to use here at Bristol, as leading the way. 13.45 seconds now. It continues to grow. Colton Manage is now on the same straightaway, the same set of corners as our second place driver. He is looking to try to put himself on to a absolutely miraculous pace here, looking to try to be the only driver on the lead lap as he rolls underneath the 24 ride here of Jamison Heath. Right there in front of him is our 3rd place competitor, the 15 ride of Cameron Combs, and not too far away is Austin Smith. They're in position number 2. Colton Manage came down pit road last on lap number 119. Now, I don't know if he can make it 81 laps on fuel. He did have a couple caution laps there where he was able to save a little bit, so it's more than likely around lap 79 or so. So 79 laps or so without coming down pit lane. I don't know if he'll be able to make it on fuel or if he'll have to make that green flag pit stop. That no matter what, even if he does, he has got a huge lead, a huge advantage right now between himself and anybody else. That is 15 seconds between himself and Austin Smith as he tries to put Cameron Combs a lap down here on the racetrack. No caution flag in a little while, and so far that's a good break as we do see Colton manage down low here. I don't know what just happened to the 00 ride. He just gave up a ton of time. I don't know if there was contact between him and the 15. He was making the pass here, starting to put Cameron Combs a lap down, and then all of a sudden, just down the back straightaway, this car just starts limping. Slow, down through the set of corners here, and then down onto the apron, across the line. I don't know what happened there to the 00, but something happened in a quick hurry. Still leading the way, but that gave up probably about 2 seconds right there and keeps Cameron Combs on the lead lap. It also keeps Austin Smith on the lead lap here as then he's trying to put Jameson Heath another lap down as Corey Crowell. He's down pit side. He's making a pit stop here in that number 20 ride, but Colton Manich gonna have to try to regain all that time. He was 15 seconds in front, over 15 seconds in front of the 23 of Austin Smith. Now it's back to about 14 seconds, but he was falling all the way down to about, it was about 15 and a half seconds in front. It was down to about 13 seconds, so he gave up about 2.5 seconds with whatever went wrong there for the 00 ride. I don't know if he had a toe cramp or something happened there, but the loss of focus and loss of quite a bit of time out there on the speedway. Now he's into the outside fence. Look at what is happening here. The 00 ride, our race leader, running into issues. Jameson Heath trying to stay out of him now. Looks like something broken in the right front here for Colton Manich, and now it's wide open. The floodgates are happening here for Colton as he's looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here this afternoon. Only 18 more laps left to go, but running into issues. The gap is now 12 seconds between first and second, and Austin Smith may be sitting in the catbird seat. Cameron Combs trying to hunt him down here, back in position number 3. They got a big gap still to clear with that 00 of Colton Manich, but Manich potentially running into issues. He just has to keep up a solid pace, keep himself out of trouble here, and keep that gap. Now that gap is starting to grow once again as here comes Austin Smith down pit road. So Smith will make his green flag pit stop. Cameron Combs may not be too far behind him here, and then we may see Colton Manich. I don't know if he can make it to the end on fuel, if that's maybe what he's trying to figure out and trying to see is trying to save that fuel and trying to keep this car on the racetrack without having to make another green flag pit stop. As there goes Cameron Combs down pit road. So Combs now down pit side here himself, and Colton Manich out in front here by over a lap. He has lapped the entire field, even with the issues that he's been having and throughout the day that he's continued to have. Only 14 laps left of racing action. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Can he finish this race off and be our race winner and keep all these drivers back there at bay and everyone a lap down out there on the speedway? As here comes the 19 ride of Dom Salvo. He's going to go right around our race leader. You know, some of these drivers, fresher tires, fresher equipment, able to run a lot quicker lap times than the race leader. So they're able to catch up to him here and make those passes and gain a lap back here. As we do see the 76 of Caleb McKinney. He's now a lap down here in this one. He was 2 laps down, now only 1 lap down as he rolls around our race leader as Colton Manich leads the way. Lance Brantley are now into position number 2. Al Reed back there in third with Joshua Neal, Caleb McKinney, Mike Killingback, David Duran Jr. our top 7. Austin Smith scored back in 8th with Dom Salvo, Cameron Combs our top 10 here on the racetrack as they run right now. But Colton Manich out in front, continuing to click these laps off, hoping to not have to make another green flag pit stop for the 00 ride, as this time down across the line. Only 9 more laps left to go. So 9 more laps left for the Kick KD Jam 26, the kick the Kawasaki disease right in the butt car. The Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting ride out in front, continue to lead the way. We'll click off another lap, only 8 more laps here. He can take it easy. He's got over a lap between himself and Lance Brantlinger here that he can try to cruise control out there on the speedway. It's 20 seconds between himself and Lance Brantlinger. Here's Brantlinger in the 8 ride. He knows that he is more than a lap down. He's catching our race leader at a very fast pace here, laying down a lot faster lap times than the 00, but how quickly can he catch him? And the gap is so big that even if Colton Manch gives up a second a lap, he's still going to be able to finish out in front by 12 seconds. So he's just got to make it to the end here on fuel. He doesn't have to worry about tire wear. He doesn't have to worry about anything else. And I think the fuel right now is going to be that big issue. The thing that's really sitting in the back of his mind, just knowing that he has to make it to the end and hope to not see a caution flag. Or if he does, it's right now with only 5 laps left to go and only one driver able to get back onto the lead lap with Lance Brantlinger there in the 8 ride. Brantlinger down low. He's reeling into the back bumper of our race leader. So here he goes. He's looking to get himself back onto the lead lap. He'll make the move down low. There goes the 8 ride. So it's Colton Manch and Lance Brantlinger, the only 2 drivers still on the lead lap here this afternoon with 3 laps left to go. 3 more laps left here for Colton Manch. Can he get it done? The car slow down low. Here goes the 15 right. He'll roll around him. The 19 of Dom Salvo. He'll go around him. It's Salvo trying to hang on to it. Look out. Salvo into the outside fence. Oh, baby. Teammates right here. The last thing Colton Manch wants to see right now is either that caution flag or his teammate take him out of this race as they avoid the contact. Salvo keeps on rolling. Is nice and easy down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. We'll see that white flag fly one more time around here for Colton Manch. Can Manch get it done? Can he put himself up into victory lane for the final time down the back straightaway? The Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 00 ride down at a corner number 4. We'll see the checkered flag fly, and Colton Manch will able to hang on and pick up the win here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The strategy, the play will work out perfectly here today for the 00 as Manch will pick up the win. Him and Lance Brantlinger, the only 2 drivers left on the lead lap here this afternoon. Caleb McKinney will come home in position number 3. David Duran Jr., Mike Killingbeck are top 5 with Al Reed, Austin Smith, Cameron Combs, Dom Salvo, and Chris Muse rounding out our top 10 as, whew, baby, the Kick KD January 6th Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting, the Kawasaki Disease Awareness Ride, able to pick up the win here this afternoon. He'll get ready to burn down the house here at Bristol Motor Speedway as Colton Manch picks up the win and pulls this 00 ride into victory lane. In his hands full late in this race, trying to keep that car pointed in the right direction, trying to keep it out of trouble, bouncing off the wall, rolling around out there on the speedway, and just trying to keep up pace and trying to not give up too much time, as he knew that Lance Brantlinger, some of those other drivers with the fresher tires, were trying to hunt him down in a quick hurry, but they all run out of time. Basically, Lance Brantlinger needed about 12 more laps here on the speedway to hunt down this 00 as Colton Manch does pick up the win. He does pull this car into victory lane. Man, what a run and what a drive there for Colton Manch. Doesn't look like Manch has a photo in his thing, so we're going to use the car instead. So we'll hide that and put the car on there. iRacing car, there we go. Yeah, so a big run, a big drive right there for that 00 ride, and a heck of a run, a heck of a performance here this afternoon as we'll get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, if you guys enjoyed that win by the 00 ride here this afternoon, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the PeaceMaker family here today as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the booth here for their post-race interviews right now. Post-race interviews about to come up. We're going to get ready to pull these drivers in here for their post-race interviews, man, after what was a heck of a run, heck of a drive, and here is Colton Manch right now. Hey, Colton, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Colton, man, what a run, what a drive in such a special paint scheme here this afternoon, and you're able to get the job done and pull this 0-0 up and into victory lane. Take us back through this one as things were looking very bleak there after the contact. Out in front of the field, you see the 28 ride parked sideways there in the middle of the racetrack. You're trying to avoid him. Heavy front end damage for you. Luckily enough, you're able to use that quick repair and work yourself back onto the lead lap, and all of a sudden you storm up through the field. Some late race pit strategy, and it all pays off as you're able to hold them off, not make that late race pit stop, and put yourself into victory lane, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind right now as you have that Kawasaki disease awareness ride up here in victory lane at Bristol Motor Speed.
Man, first and foremost, I got to ask you, did you by any chance see there that last like 50 laps of the race, how I was just all over the track?
I absolutely did. We did see you get up into the outside fence and have some issues there.
So of all tracks, I said to my wife before the race, I was like, man, my center monitor was going black last night when I was practicing, and I said, I really hope it doesn't do it during the race. I thought I fixed it, and I don't know, right around like 50 to go, I keyed up over the race comms and I said, it is so hard to drive Bristol when your center monitor keeps going black. And at one point, they were saying, "Oh, you're about to lap the field. There's like no way, blah blah blah, whatever they're saying." And I was like, as soon as I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 laps after that is when I slammed the wall and I actually got wheel damage. So that last 50 laps of the race or so, I was driving, trying to go one-handed, holding in my cables, checking my computer, trying to get my wires all to work, and like I said, all driving one-handed. And man, I don't know how to survive that thing. Early on, it was kind of frustrating because I was out in front. I felt good and was in position to win the first stage. Hopefully, the car just started to come to me. I was starting to figure out what I needed, and unfortunately, I run into my teammate when he got spun out, and from there it was just a battle to try to get back. And yeah, played the pit strategy with like 80 to go. I was like, man, we can make it to the end, and I was leading, and I decided to pit. And I looked behind me, I said, man, nobody pitted. If this thing goes green, like we're in good shape. And of course, every time I think I've got a good strategy to win a race, it always goes haywire. And finally, I got one done at Bristol. It's been a long time since I've won here, and I love this track. It's so much fun. And I don't know how I survived, but it was definitely a battle today.
Absolutely. Looked like a very tough battle there. We did see you running into those issues, struggling, trying to keep that car just pointed in the right direction. But as he said, you had a huge lead with everyone not coming down pit side. When you did, they were having to make those green flag pit stops, which gave you even more of a gap, and they were trying to hunt you down. There were a lot faster cars rolling around you trying to work themselves back onto the lead lap, and we saw only one driver out there on the racetrack able to get themselves back onto the lead lap here this afternoon, and that was Lance Brantlinger. Everybody else at least a lap down behind you, just showing you that the strategy and the speed of the 0-0, even with those issues, able to pick up a massive win here this afternoon, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this afternoon?
Yeah, man. So I gotta say thank everybody with this league, you for what you do, Williamsburg Contracting, Shenco Custom Diecast, all of our supporters just across the board from this league to my sponsors to the die casting world, everybody. But super special paint scheme today, as you said. The Kawasaki disease awareness. Super cool to be able to race this and debut it. This is the first time I've ever raced this thing. I actually had this one made this week for me from Steel, Michael Steele Graphics and Design. So usually I create my own schemes, but man, I told him, I said, I need something special. I need something cool. And to be able to debut it with a victory is so darn cool. Just super excited. My son was really excited that I made this thing for him. And yeah, to win in it, it's just tops it off, man. I'm just speechless. Great. It's awesome.
Absolutely, definitely awesome. Definitely a very amazing thing that you're doing there, spreading the awareness for Kawasaki disease and being able to go out there onto the racetrack the first day with this paint scheme and put it up into victory lane with such dominance here at Bristol Motor Speedway, man. A very, very proud moment of not only myself to be able to broadcast it, but obviously for yourself and your family and for all the leagues to be able to see you pull this off and put that car up here in victory lane.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And for anybody who's watching, who's listening to this interview, all I gotta say is if you've got kids and you don't know what Kawasaki disease is, take about 5-10 minutes to research it. Super rare disease, less than 6,000 kids in the U.S. a year get diagnosed with it. Some of the symptoms, and if you don't catch them in time, can be fatal or life-lasting. Injuries and results if you don't catch it in time. So make sure you research it and check it out and do whatever the doctors recommend because it will be life-saving. So that's it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Colton, a great run, a great drive for a great cause here this afternoon as the 00 ride back up and into victory lane. And now you get to focus here on next week's race. Hoping to not have any monitor issues. At least next week you can hold the wheel for the most part straight for quite a little while there at Daytona. But you get that opportunity here now to go battle for the championship here in season number 8, man. Is that sitting in the back of your mind right now, knowing that you're going to have that possibility to try to pick up this championship and potentially put this car back up into victory lane and picking up that championship next week?
Man, I haven't really even thought about the championship. I'm just still in shock and awe that I was able to win with this car and this scheme, and just be a part of this league and winning at Bristol. Man, it's just like I said, there's so much to unpack, and I think it'll settle in here in a little bit that we'll be racing for a championship, and we got 500 miles at Daytona next week, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and I just hope for another good, clean battle, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack. Colton, congratulations on the win here this afternoon, man. Absolutely amazing performance. Absolutely amazing race here this evening, and we can't wait to see you there battling for that championship next weekend.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you and everything that you do.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Colton Manages. Colton coming in with the big win here this afternoon in a very beautiful paint scheme here, a very beautiful Kawasaki disease awareness ride here this evening is my boy Chris Pilo. Chris coming in, setting it off. What's good, Mr. Pilo? Coming in with the big love, the big motherfucking love here in this one. Not only with the like on the stream, but also coming in with the 110-star dono. Coming in, setting it off here with this one. Says Shenco, let's go, boys. Let's go. Yes, Sirski. Huge appreciation there, Mr. Pilo, coming in with more love here this afternoon. The 110-star dono. I appreciate that, brother. Showing the big love here this afternoon. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the number 8 ride of Lance Brantley. Our Brantley are coming home in position number 2. Let's pull Lance up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Lance, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Aaron, got a copy.
Lance, brother, man, a great run, a strong performance for you here this afternoon. Obviously, we saw early on you come down pit road. Maybe a good case because you were able to avoid quite a bit of that carnage early on, and you'll just keep that car rolling out there on the speedway and trying to work yourself back, obviously, onto the lead lap. You're able to do that. Then you got to work yourself through some more carnage and chaos there for a little while. Then slowly but surely, you find yourself up inside the top 10, the top 5. And then late in this race, a lot of different pit strategy, a lot of different calls. You're able to come down pit road, use those fresh tires to your advantage, and you drive up here into second and finish as the only other driver still on the lead lap. Is Colton able to make it there at the end of this race on fuel?
That was amazing. I didn't know how he did it, but I was wondering. It's like, who's the leader? Towards the end of the race there, I'm like, my teammate Caleb was saying it was Colton. I'm like, how did he stay up for those many laps? But good job to him. But I did everything I could this race because I was in 10th in the points to get into top 8. I had to do something to get there, but car was hooked up from the beginning. I got a little loose in one of the corners and almost lost it. But other than that, I found a line that worked for me during the race. Go to middle, come out low, and had a lot of speed to it. But it was a stressful race, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a stressful race. You saw a lot of carnage in front of you, a lot of carnage unfolding around you out there on the racetrack, and luckily enough, you're able to survive all of it and pull yourself up here into position number 2 here this afternoon. And you talked about those points. How are you feeling? What does it look like here going into our, into those points and seeing if you're going to be able to back up that championship again here this year?
I don't know. It's going to be close. I wish I could have got more. I messed up on the second green white check, not the green white checker, but the stage on the second stage, thinking it was a stage, and I was running second then. I should have stayed out to get the points, but I messed that up and ended up, I think, 10th or something like that in the stage. But I was trying to get as many points as I could this week, my friend, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's like I said, it's going to probably be close.
Well, we can't wait. We're all going to be on the edge of our seats waiting to see those official standings and see who our Championship 8 will be, and hopefully we'll see it be a part of that championship battle again this year in Daytona next week. Unfortunately, the season quickly coming to an end. Your championship hopes looking very bleak here, but again, another great race, another great season for the 8 ride after what started off to be very, very tough, and now you're right here, right in the mix of things, and potentially in another position to go to that big dance in Daytona.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I from the moments I had in the beginning of the year, I mean, I can't ask for anything more. At least have a shot at it. So just have to wait and see how the points run out here towards the middle of the week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Lance, a great run, a great drive here at Bristol nonetheless. A valiant effort trying to get those last few points to work yourself into the playoffs, man. Who would you like to thank for a great run and a great drive here this afternoon?
All the sponsors, of course, everybody in our league. Couldn't do this league without them. I mean, we're brothers. Even though we do shout at each other once in a while, it's just part of it. Of course, teammates, my teammate Caleb. We worked really well together today. Got a top 5, both of us. So can't ask for anything more. But Aaron, have a Merry Christmas, my friend, and we'll be seeing you in the next race.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack. And yes, a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you as well. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth potentially next Sunday.
Sounds good. You have a good night.
You do.
Bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 8 rider, Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger coming home there in position number 2 here this afternoon as we'll get ready now to pull in our 3rd place finisher, the 76 of Caleb McKinney. Hey, Caleb, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Caleb, man, a pretty solid run, a pretty solid day here this afternoon. You were able to avoid, for the most part, a lot of the carnage and chaos that we saw here in the first half of this race. But then that second half, things go a lot more green flag here, and able to make some moves, able to use some of that different pitch strategy, and you find yourself finishing off the evening inside the top 3 here with a pretty solid afternoon at Bristol Motor Speedway, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind as you're sitting down pit side.
Yeah, just starting off had starting 7th, so not too terrible, but something I can definitely improve on. But the first stage was a little bit like 3 or 4 cautions, not too bad, but I picked up the pieces on those cautions and secured, I think, 3rd or 4th in the first stage, and I didn't take tires at the start of the second stage to give me an extra set for the end that I didn't use. But yeah, just being consistent and just running my line.
Absolutely. Running your line, being consistent out there on the racetrack, and obviously having that extra set of tires, hoping for that late race caution flag, and obviously seeing Colton being able to run the fuel out as long as he did after making that, fairly later pit stop there under our final caution flag of the day on lap number 119, and able to make it there to the end. Everyone was hoping to see that yellow flag, making that maybe he'd be forced to come down pit road. Everyone could kind of get that free pass, and back into contention here for the race win this afternoon. Unfortunately, no late race yellow flag for you, no opportunity to get that fresh set. We settle in here for a solid third place run, still keeping a lot of great drivers back there behind you.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb, a great run, a great drive here this afternoon, man. Who'd you like to thank for another solid performance here in the Outcast Racing League?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammate Lance for working with me this race. We do really well together, so I'd like to see that every now and again. And Dominic Barbagallo for making this Ford Mustang Overton's machine. So that'll do it.
Beauty. Well, Caleb, a great run, a great drive here this afternoon. We can't wait to see you back in action in a week's time here for our season finale. But in between here and there, we got Christmas coming up, man. So we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack for our season finale at Daytona.
Thank you. You too.
Beauty, Caleb. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Caleb McKinney. Is McKinney coming home there in that third spot on the Speedway? A very solid run, a very solid drive here for the 76 Riders. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here in this one. Is my boy Pilo coming in with the horns up as well. Huge shout out again to Chris coming in with a 110-star donation here this afternoon. But the racing action here from Bristol Motor Speedway has come to a close as Streamlabs just crashed on me. Okay.